Chosen One, September 22nd. Your last day of lack. God is fixing everything. This is not just another day. It is a divine turning point, a moment scripted by God to end every form of lack that has been tormenting your spirit, your finances, your peace, and your future. September 22nd is not random. It has been chosen, carved out in the spiritual realm, and appointed as your final day living beneath your divine inheritance. The drought is ending. The struggle is closing. The silence from heaven is breaking. Everything you lost is now on its way back to you in divine order and overflow. Lack has no place in the life of someone chosen. And now, God is stepping in to fix what was broken, to replace what was stolen, and to elevate you into the abundance already written in your destiny. This isn't just a promise, it's an unfolding reality. Watch this video until the end, because the entire message is divinely aligned with what is happening around you right now. And write your warmest wishes in the comments and type the number 777. You are not only declaring your faith, you are energizing the universe to bring your desires into form. This is the moment your words turn into wonders, and your wishes begin to walk toward you. Speak life, speak joy, speak restoration, and let the universe mirror it all back to you. Now, Chosen One, press the hype button under the video, and like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. Everything beyond this moment is a declaration of breakthrough. This is the part of your life story where the tone shifts, not slightly, but dramatically. You are stepping out of the wilderness of waiting and walking into a realm that was promised, prepared, and preserved just for you. For too long, you've carried the weight of almost, the sting of watching others receive what you were silently praying for, the ache of delay while you danced faithfully in the dark. But God has seen every silent tear. God has heard every whisper of your heart when the world was too noisy to listen. And now, yes, now, it is God's voice that is speaking louder than the doubt, stronger than the fear, and clearer than the confusion. This is the orchestration of divine timing, and God has chosen September 22nd to prove that you were never forgotten, only being prepared. You may not have realized it, but every setback was part of the orchestration. Every door that shut was God redirecting you. Every delay was protection disguised as frustration. You weren't being punished, you were being positioned. You weren't being ignored, you were being insulated from lesser things that would have blocked the greater blessing. And now, those spiritual gears are turning. Behind the scenes, what looked stagnant is now moving with divine acceleration. The heavens are open, and the realm of enough is no longer enough. God is ushering you into more than enough. Not because you earned it, but because you're chosen. The seasons of lack you walked through were never permanent. They were temporary holding rooms for the character that was being shaped inside of you. The world may have misjudged you based on what you lacked, but God was measuring you based on what you carried. And now, you are no longer walking into rooms as someone looking for provision. You are entering as the one bringing the presence of God with you. The very environments that once drained you will now honor you. The same tables you were once denied access to are being extended by divine command. Your name is being mentioned in rooms where your feet have not yet walked. Why? Because this is God's move. And when God moves, nothing can stay the same. The signs have been subtle but undeniable. The discomfort you've felt lately, that wasn't just life being heavy. It was your old season breaking off. The people who faded away without warning? That wasn't rejection. It was spiritual decluttering. The sudden inner knowing that something is coming, even though you can't see it. That's divine confirmation. God has already whispered the next instruction to your spirit. And now, all of heaven is aligning to match your internal shift with external manifestation. You are not crazy. You are not alone. You are not behind. And you are right on the brink of breakthrough. God is not just fixing what you see. God is fixing what you didn't even know was broken. Cycles from generations before you, cycles of lack, struggle, and sabotage, are being severed at the root. On this day, you are not just receiving change, you are becoming the change. The one who breaks the chain. The one who shifts the lineage. The one who carries wealth not just in money, but in meaning. You are not rising alone. You are rising for every silent ancestor who prayed for a day like this. September 22nd is the fulfillment of spiritual contracts signed in prayer, in tears, in sacrifice, by you, by those before you, and by the divine will of God. It may have taken longer than you thought, but it's arriving faster than you expect. That's the paradox of divine timing. When it hits, it doesn't trickle, it floods. When it arrives, it doesn't knock, it crashes through with undeniable force. And you, chosen one, are standing at the edge of that flood of favor. Your steps from this point are no longer toward struggle, but into supernatural solutions. The prayers that once felt unanswered were actually being stored in the hands of time, waiting for this exact day. Now that the day has arrived, so has your breakthrough. You won't have to chase what is divinely yours. The blessings will chase you down, overtake you, surround you. God is fixing everything, not in small, fragmented ways, but in complete, undeniable, irreversible ways. The fixes will be visible. The restoration will be dramatic. The transformation will be public. People who thought you were finished will witness your elevation. Not because of revenge, not because of ego, but because your rise is a revelation of God's faithfulness. Do not look for signs of the old anymore. Don't measure what's coming by what has been. This is not a repeat. This is a resurrection. You aren't being restored to where you were before. You are being lifted higher than you've ever been. Not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, relationally, creatively, and mentally. Every area that suffered is now being soothed. Every area that felt dry is now being watered. The barren season has officially expired, and the date has been set, September 22nd. This is where your new life begins. The power of this moment lies not just in what God is doing, but in who you are becoming. You are no longer the one asking for crumbs of peace. You are now a carrier of calm in chaotic places. You are no longer the one wondering if you'll be supported. You are the one being sent as the support system for others. Your identity has matured. Your spirit has expanded. Your posture has shifted. And now, even your surroundings are being forced to catch up. Don't be surprised when people treat you differently. Don't be shocked when new opportunities show up with your name already on them. Don't hesitate when doors open that once felt impossible. This is not coincidence, it's covenant. September 22nd is the end of lack. Not just physical lack, but emotional lack, relational lack, spiritual lack, mental lack. The voids that once echoed loudly are now being filled by the voice of God declaring, "It is done." And once God declares it, No force can undo it. Not fear, not delay, not manipulation, not even your past. The decision has been made in heaven, and the manifestation is now unfolding on earth. You were destined for this, and this moment is destined for you. What happens when lack has run out of room in your life? What begins to form when God Himself draws a line in the sand and says, "No more"? You are walking through that exact moment now, and while the world may not yet realize the magnitude of this day, your spirit knows. You've felt the quiet pull for days. You've noticed the strange calm, as if something in the atmosphere has shifted. That is no accident. This is God's silence before the storm of blessings, not a storm of destruction, but of reconstruction. What seemed scattered is being gathered. What was broken is being healed. What was missing is now being delivered. This is the hour where heaven is touching earth, not in mystery, but in manifestation. God is not merely watching your life unfold, He is now rewriting the script in real time, inserting miracles into the timeline that once only carried trials. He is stitching glory into the fabric of your routine. You are no longer waking up to survival. You are awakening into overflow. What once drained your energy is now being removed with divine precision. The people, patterns, and places that were rooted in lack cannot follow you into this next elevation. They are being dismissed by divine authority, not because of cruelty, but because of clarity. This moment is too sacred for anything small to remain attached to you. Look around. Even nature aligns with this shift. Leaves fall to make room for new life. Storms come to clear the air. Darkness always precedes the dawn. And just as the seasons obey the voice of the Creator, so does your season. And it's obeying the voice of God now. God is fixing the things you thought would always be broken. And He's doing it in a way so clear, so undeniable, that even your enemies will have to say, "That had to be God." You've waited long enough to be seen, to be valued, to be supported, to be elevated. That wait ends now. You are no longer walking through the fog of uncertainty. You are standing in the spotlight of purpose. The fog was never failure. It was God's way of hiding you until you were fully formed. And now, the revealing begins. September 22nd is not just a day on the calendar. It's a divine announcement. You are no longer being prepared. You are being presented. This is the great unveiling. The moment where what God placed in you is no longer invisible to the world around you. And as this unveiling occurs, do not be alarmed by what is removed. Some things must exit for the elevation to be sustainable. Not everyone was meant to witness your rise. Not every voice was meant to echo in your next chapter. This day, this sacred sovereign day, has been marked by God as a divine filter. Anything that carries lack, doubt, sabotage, or distraction is now being shaken out of your life. It is not rejection. It is divine refinement. God is purifying your atmosphere, your environment, and your energy field to make room for the magnitude of what's about to arrive. There is a sound being released from heaven, and only those attuned in spirit can hear it. It is the sound of change, the frequency of fulfillment, the vibration of divine intervention. And you, chosen one, are vibrating at that frequency now. That is why certain things no longer fit. That is why you've felt the urge to move in silence, to cut ties, to shift gears, to separate yourself. It is not isolation. It is preparation. You are not losing. You are being aligned. Every choice you've made in obedience is now returning to you as blessing. Every seed you sowed when you barely had enough is now being multiplied in the overflow. Let it sink in. God is not just restoring what you lost. He's increasing what you have. You're not going back to where you were. You're being taken to where you've never been. The former days of trying to figure everything out in your own strength are over. This new chapter is where God's hand carries you. His strategy guides you. His favor surrounds you. You won't have to strive for access. Access is being granted. You won't have to force open doors. Doors are being opened because of your spiritual authority. You have arrived at the threshold, and from this point forward, your entire reality is shifting into divine abundance. You may still see traces of the old, but don't be fooled. The old is fading. What's being built now is stronger, deeper, and directly from heaven. This is not a patchwork fix. This is a full restoration. God is not covering up broken places. He is replacing them with foundations of glory. And the restoration will not be quiet. It will be loud. It will be radiant. It will be so undeniable that even those who walked away from you will wish they had stayed connected. But this isn't about proving anything to them. This is about proving to your soul that God's promises never return void. Chosen One, September 22nd has come to make history in your life. Mark it in your spirit. Mark it with your expectation. Mark it with your belief. Do not treat this day as ordinary. It carries too much divine weight. Heaven has hovered over this day for months, aligning people, repositioning paths, redirecting situations, all for you. What looked like delay was actually divine choreography. What felt like confusion was God speaking in a language only your faith could interpret. This is not the end. It's the birthing. What you've carried internally is now being delivered externally. The pain you endured was the contraction. The breakthrough is the arrival. And just like a mother forgets the pain once the child is born, you will forget the tears, the doubt, the questioning. Because what God is placing in your hands now will be so overwhelming in beauty that your past won't even make sense anymore. That's how complete this fixing will be. That's how extraordinary this transformation will feel. And it's not coming. It's here. It has begun. Let others try to understand. Let them speculate. But you will know, deep in your soul, that what is unfolding is the work of God, the timing, the precision, the acceleration. It could only be divine. You are not just lucky. You are not just talented. You are chosen. That's why it's happening this way. That's why it had to take this long. Because only God could get the glory for a shift this big. And now, God is getting glory through your story. There is a sacred hush surrounding your life right now. A calm that doesn't make sense unless you understand what God is doing beneath the surface. You're not being ignored. You're being infused. You're not being bypassed. You're being built. What you thought was silence was actually divine strategy. And now, the silence is giving way to a sound. The sound of fulfillment. The sound of justice. The sound of answered prayers colliding with earth in the form of miracles. God has never stopped working. He's been preparing a dramatic entrance into your circumstances, and the curtain is rising now. Lack was never your final identity. It was only a temporary disguise meant to draw out your deeper strength. You weren't born to carry the energy of not enough. You were born to carry the breath of heaven, the weight of divine blessing, and the favor of generations. September 22nd is the timestamp of heaven's decision to exchange your former limitation for a future filled with limitless grace. This isn't a motivational concept. It's a spiritual fact. The delay has expired. The chains are falling. The burden is being lifted, not by your hand, but by God's. And here's the most important truth. When God fixes something, it doesn't go back to its previous state. It becomes greater than before. God is not returning you to what was. He is launching you into what's never been seen before. What you're about to walk into has no blueprint in your past. That's why your past couldn't prepare you for this. That's why none of it made sense until now. The sudden shifts, the unusual encounters, the pull toward new visions, new territories, new standards. It was all preparation for this holy unveiling. You are becoming the version of yourself that was always buried beneath the weight of lack. You are not rising again. You are rising for the first time in full identity, full clarity, and full alignment with your destiny. You are stepping into the fullness of who you really are, not who people assumed you were, not who pain tried to shape you into, but who God created from the beginning. The veil has lifted, the mislabeling has ended, and now you are being revealed, not as someone in recovery, but as someone reigning. Do not underestimate the ripple effect of this day. What God is fixing in your life will not stop with you. It will bless those connected to you, even those who doubted you. It will send waves of clarity through your bloodline. It will dissolve confusion, dissolve division, dissolve the energy of not enough that tried to live inside your home.